case like me, you have just arrived. You just arrived. You have just arrived and you've seen something problematic on the internet. The most problematic one that I've seen is this story about Ms. Zaitoon. Okay. Hi, the story has actually led to quite a little bit of drama with people going out and protesting, these domestic workers going out and protesting, especially day bags who are informal women and informal women working as day cleaners, taking care of your house, doing all of this. It has led to quite a huge protest because of what happened to Zaitooni. In case you don't know what I'm referring to, Zaitooni was a 54-year-old woman who worked in Kilimani, worked in Kilimani as a domestic worker. And actually that's a footage of the protests that have been happening because of this. And these are other domestic workers, other informal domestic workers, day bags, who are on the streets protesting near the police station and near this whole area of Kilimani police station. She was 54 years old. She went into work as she normally would, working in this area in Kilimani. And she used to clean for them. She used to do laundry, usual domestic work, right? And like a normal day, she left the house and decided to go home after her day of work. But before she got home, she gets a call from her employer, a Sudanese individual, who called her and said, hey, I need you to come back. She went back to the house, only for her to find out that she's being accused of stealing 5,000 Kenya shillings from some clothes. I think it was a pair of socks. There are many stories. One is that it was a pair of socks where this money was in. Another one is that it was in clothes that she did laundry or she cleaned. Upon this information hitting her, she's like, wait, no, I didn't take any of your money. I haven't stolen from you at all. What is it that you're referring to that I've taken money from your house? I have not stolen 5,000 shillings from this house, which then becomes an altercation that ensues between her and her employer. And unfortunately, there is very disturbing footage of what happened after. We see a video of a man, a Sudanese man in a white shirt, who seems to be dangling her from the 5th floor. Like he's holding her by the hands from the 5th floor, and you can see her trying to grab on anything because he lets her go. Like alikuwa amemshikilia mkono hivi akamwachilia. So she's trying to grab the railings and trying to give herself some form of stability in order for her to step down. But she's again on the 5th floor. She gets herself onto the balcony of the next floor, and then tries again to get herself on the balcony of the 3rd floor, which no more footage has been shown. But yeah, she was dangling from the balcony of this apartment. Unfortunately, from what we're hearing, she may have fallen. And upon her falling, she lost her life. So the daughter, who goes by the name of Faith, it gets a call. She keeps trying to call her mom. She's like, where's my mom? Where's my mom? She keeps trying to call the mom. Like, where's my mom? Where's my mom? Eventually, the phone is answered by a man. And she's like, hey, where's my mom? They're like, oh, this is the Kilimani police station. Our boss is not here at the moment, but can you come to the police station in the morning? And she said, okay. And in the morning, she went to the police station. Upon arrival at the police station, she had a kathamos of chai to give to her mother and something so that she could nibble on, because you can imagine someone hasn't eaten all day or all morning. She continues to tell the policeman, hey, as we are trying to figure this out, can you please give this chai to my mom? Isipoe, mpatie chai ata isipoe. The police seems to be very bothered, and then proceeds to tell her, yeah, sorry to tell you that your mother has died. Of course, if you've just been told your mother has died, the questions are so many. Apparently, she was told that her mother passed on from falling off the balcony, right? But upon arrival at the city mortuary in Nairobi, they find out that the cause of death, there were both internal and external injuries. The external injury shows that she died from blunt force trauma, which is when something really heavy has hit your body or your body has had impact with a very heavy object or has fallen from a very high point. However, this was not the only injury that she had. She had multiple other bruises and abrasions on her body, which would lead to believe that she didn't just die from one cause. Like, there were multiple things that were happening to her, that happened to her body, which may have been someone, beat her up a little bit, or she was beaten up to the point where she then succumbed to these injuries. Unfortunately, she died. The daughter then proceeds to say that she was handed the belongings of her mother, which included 160 Kenya shillings, slippers, a dress, and rubber shoes. Because usually when you're going to work for someone, you have a change in shoes. So she had 160 shillings, slippers, and a dress and rubber shoes, which belonged to her mother. The post-mortem that was conducted at the Nairobi City Mortuary again revealed that she died of multiple injuries caused by blunt force trauma. Multiple injuries caused by blunt force trauma, which again really dissuades you from she fell from the balcony. Mtu mwenye amengoa kwa balcony, they will have very different injuries in comparison to what this police and the post-mortem report tells them. So this brings us to the question of what is going on. The police are saying one thing, the post-mortem is saying another thing. Where is the truth? And this is what has led to the conversation that we're having today about domestic workers, especially domestic workers like day bags, who it's like almost an informal form of appointment. It's informal. There's no contract. There are no laws that help or protect you. Nothing. You just wake up in the morning, go and work at someone's house, and in the evening you go back home. So what do we do? Because these men and women are very vulnerable, and even more especially women who are working in these informal sectors or working these informal jobs are susceptible to so many forms of gender-based violence. We've seen so many issues that have come up, including someone went to work and they got sexually assaulted while they were at work by their employer. That's a big issue that crops up quite a bit. Number two, we've had issues of not only sexual harassment and actually sexual violation, but we've also seen other stories like intimidation and threats and blames. For example, money turns up missing. The first person you're blaming is your dome, is your day bag. Pesa iko wapi? Ulipeleka pesa wapi? Something is broken, you tell them, miss kulipi leo, juu lazima niende nika replace XYZ yenye ulivunja during your period of work. Like, there's so many ways in which people are threatened, they're blamed, they are unfortunately intimidated as well. And because of the fact that this is your employer, they owe you money, or you work for them to get this money, people just end up being like, okay, ni sawa, because you want to continue to work there. We've also seen a lot of normalization of mistreatment. Like, someone will just be working, unanza kutusiwa, someone just starts abusing you verbally, even maybe will threaten you by beating you up a little bit here and there. It's become very normal for people to be mistreated. You'll find that people aren't given food. That's a big one, actually. You're not given any food. You've been working from morning to evening. You're not given food. Umeko huko kwa balcony huko, enda ukakae na huko. Like, there's nowhere for you to sit in the house. You just have to sit in the corner. If you're having any breaks, you're sitting in the corner somewhere. Like, there's no place for you to actually sit for a minute and just relax for a second, because again, this ain't your house, is it, honey? Nope. You've seen people getting such degrading treatment. Like, you'll be told, don't touch this, don't handle that, usifanye hii, usifanye ile, usikule hii, usikule ile. We've seen these stories quite a bit as well. And because you have no contract, then you often have no rights, right? If you don't actually have anyone who you can go to with your grievances, you don't have anyone that you can hold to account, or anyone who can hold your employer to any account, it just leads to chances of you having no rights. You get sick, hiyo ni shughuli yako, okay? You get homa because of being in the cold the whole day, you figure that out on your own. Like, you have no health insurance, you have no health benefits, like nothing. If you don't come to work, you don't get paid, period. Which means if you fall ill or you're away for a while, you just ain't getting any money. And these, again, are things that normally anyone who's employing someone or who's giving someone work needs to put into consideration. You get a lot of isolation in your work environment. For example, you're working in an apartment where your bosses have gone off to work, you're on your own. So in case of anything, there's no one really to witness what's going on with you, no one really to vouch for you and say, hey, actually, no, yeah, I was there, this and this is what happened, not this and this. So that isolation does lead to a lot of risk, which can lead to a lot of vulnerability. In case robbers come to the house, no ulikuwa umeachwa peke yako, vitu ziibiwe, guess who will be blamed? It's you. It's never anyone else. You also see quite a few stories of stereotypes where you're treated like you're less than, like you're not as human as I am because I have money. Where umekuja hapa kunifanyia kazi, you have no money, so we jipange, shughuli zako ni shughuli. Like there's a lot of demeaning. Actually, there's a lady who used to work for me, and you could really see that she's very, very, like she has a lot of cowardice inside her, because you're like, what's going on? She would always have to ask you like 50 million questions, like, hii niweke wapi, hii nifanye nini? And one time she broke a clock in my house, and she came with such humility. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I broke the clock, imeanguka tu, just nikate kutoka kwa my salary, nifanye. I'm like, girl, it's just a clock. Why are you freaking out? Like, it's, you just, you know what I mean? You'll even see people getting baited, like someone will just leave money on top of a table. Anacha tu pesa hapo, kukutest. Like, is she going to steal my money? Ataiba pesa yangu. There's so many weird things that happen with people who are working for other people in informal sectors that it can be scary. Like, I would never, I don't even know what kind of stress I would have if I was to live in someone's house and take care of their house. Whoa, that's crazy. You also have no legal or societal protections. In case anything happens to you, who are you going to call? Utapigia nani simu? Something happened, you were beaten, utaenda kuambia nani, okay? Who are you going to tell? And ultimately, there is a lot of fear for speaking out, because one, no one will probably believe you. A lot of people don't believe you. And then number two, even when you speak out, you are facing the risk of losing your job, period. Like, you are facing the risk of losing your income. I don't know that anyone who actually does these kinds of jobs is doing it because they have so much money and they have so many options. It's usually like a last resort kind of job, which a lot of us end up doing when you are in a bad situation and you're really just trying to make a few shillings, a few thousands here in order for you to take care of your family and so on and so forth. So it becomes really, really scary when you think about the fact that someone will, if you speak out, they may fire you. You just get fired. And ultimately, there's a bigger crisis, and I'm reading this. It says, the death of Mama Fua in Kilimani is not an isolated incident. It reflects on a broader societal disregard for the poor, the working class women, and her death is a chilling reminder of the violence that hides behind closed doors. And that is the best way to summarize it, because unfortunately, with all the issues that I've presented to you, it's clear that there's very little that can be done. And so when you see these men and women outside protesting, saying justice for Ms. Zaituni, justice for informal workers, especially female informal workers working in homes and apartments, people's apartments, justice for these people, it's because, how is it possible that someone can hold you on a balcony? Like, they hold. That video was very chilling. It was a chilling video to watch of a woman dangling from the balcony with the other person standing on the. Umesimama hapa umeshikilia mtu unamwachilia anguke. Can you imagine how little regard you have for human life, or this particular human being's life, for you to treat them in that way, threatening death? Right? Like, you're telling them, you are so meaningless that I'll just throw you off the balcony and I'll have no consequences. Like, you will die and I'll have no consequences on my part. I'll just pay a couple of cops here and there. It is so problematic. We've seen people coming back home with like lashes. I mean, it's really scary. And this is, again, the same day bag that was working for me. She told me that she was working in a Chinese family's home. Oh no, she was working in a family home, I think somewhere in Gigiri area. And the lady said she stole money, 40,000 Kenya shillings. And she's like, yes, you're the one who stole this money, so you need to turn it up. And when she said she doesn't have it, she proceeded to hold her in the house until the point where she would give this money up. And she's like, I don't have this money. Where am I going to take it from? And honestly, even on my person, I haven't left this house. So where would this money have gone, surely, if I have it? And it became such a problematic issue because then the cops were called immediately. She didn't even go home. She couldn't call anyone. She couldn't tell anyone. She was taken to the police station and arrested immediately, right? And until the point where she was able to convince the police to give her a phone in order for her to contact her family members, like, she had no way. This person would have just gone to prison at the end. Like, we don't know what happened to them. They just gone to prison and they disappeared. Can you imagine how scary that is? Just living your life every day, going to work at different houses, not knowing what kind of employer you're going to have. What is the moral of this story? The moral of this story is, one, treat people with compassion. If someone is coming to your house and working for you, unless they're just a weird person and you need to address them, even if you have to address them about an issue, please be kind. Please be considerate in how you're speaking to them. Don't talk down to people. Don't be condescending. Don't be rude. Just tell them the facts of what is what. Hey, you were supposed to clean these shoes. You haven't cleaned them. Can you please clean them? Hey, I like for you to clean my curtains. Like, be kind about how you're delivering the story. Two, if you're working for someone's house as a domestic worker, as like a day bag or even live-in help, try and find ways and systems that protect you, okay? If you can find ways to protect yourself, please do these things. If you have to get a contract, please get a contract. If you have to have someone managing you, please find someone to manage you, because ultimately the truth of the matter is you're the only person who can take care of yourself and make sure that you're safe. Otherwise, people are people. They will take advantage of you. So to wrap it up, may her soul rest in eternal peace. May her family find some form of hope and peace during this difficult time. And may the government do something to protect these people. That's the show. My name is Katomi Katomi. See you tomorrow.